Good morning, beautiful people. It is 2:21 in the morning. Today is travel day. Come along with us for this little journey that we're taking today from home to Lanzarote. So here we are, Birmingham Airport, 4 o'clock in the morning. We decided to have our breakfast at Bottega, which is a favourite of ours. We liked it last year. Security, really quite smooth. We both got picked out. I had the full body search. Sarah's bag was tested, but other than that, really smooth. Very pleasant this time in the morning. Duty free, still toying with the idea of nipping back to duty free for some gin. Just basically can't get enough signal on my phone to find out how much it costs on the plane. But other than that, fine. Let's have a quick look around. Back with you later. Birmingham Airport is a much maligned place, I believe. There's plenty of information, screens around the place, if you can get near to them for the other people around you. Having said that, plenty of information. Security was an absolute breeze, but we did pay for a fast track service. Well worth doing that, I believe. And boarding, no problem at all. You'll see in a few minutes. Wasn't long before we were on board the aircraft. So reviewing breakfast. Sarah's laughing at me now. Mr. Travel on I ain't. But reviewing breakfast here at Bottega. We both had salmon and scrambled eggs, chives, capers, focaccia. Really, really lovely breakfast. We had coffees and a glass of Prosecco. So we're now full up and ready for the flight, which is a little while away yet. We're going to have a wander around. I'll film some of the airport, maybe some of the people, and we'll have a laugh. See you later.
The bigger WH Smiths.
Impressive queue for giraffe. I don't know where the bigger WH Smiths is. Let's go that way. Big Smiths.
South.
For me, one of the best parts of flying is takeoff and landing. I know a lot of people are concerned about that, but not me. What I did get concerned of for a minute is, you see there's an EasyJet that's just about to enter the runway, and as we turned at the bottom I struggled to find where that had gone to. Although I was sitting in the middle seat, Sarah had the window, and we had the cameras attached to the aircraft by a suction cup, so I could just reach over and press play or press record. But there he goes, there's your EasyJet on what appears to be a very short takeoff run. Ours was not quite as short as that, as you'll see shortly. We taxied out in a southerly direction to take runway 33, which is the northbound runway over the city of Birmingham, which makes for some good views in the morning, and you'll see them in a few seconds as we actually take off. Many years ago I worked at Birmingham Airport on security. I had the pleasure of driving around that airfield in the security mobile, which was a lot of fun for a younger man. I'm not so sure I'd be able to cope with the constant bending over to search people that I had to do in those days. But there were some really fun experiences. Things that people come out with at airports are quite amazing. We think as passengers that we're being clever sometimes, but trust me, for your security officer, it's not so funny. However, good place to work. Let's watch the takeoff.
Yeah.
You may have noticed, sitting behind us, in the row behind us, there's a group of ladies who were a little louder than we would have hoped. Wouldn't have been so bad had the flight only lasted, it's anticipated, 4 hours 20 minutes. That never stopped. That noise continued all the way through the flight. Bless them, they were happy, they were on holiday. Oh, but I would have loved a few minutes peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we know you might be keen to get up, but please stay seated for a bit longer until the seatbelt signs have been turned off, and stay buckled up when you're in your seat.
Smoking and vaping are not allowed in any part of the plane, including the toilets. Toilet smoke detectors are extremely sensitive, so be careful when spraying any aerosols in or around the toilet to avoid activating them.
Please be careful when opening overhead lockers, as things might have moved around. Don't forget, use your headphones for your devices, and when using a power bank, put it on your tray table and keep an eye on it.
It won't be long until we deliver you our famously friendly in-flight service. If you've pre-ordered food, we'll serve you first.
In the meantime, take a look at the tasty treats and refreshing drinks in our menu. We've got loads on offer, so see what takes you fancy, and we'll be with you soon.
You can probably notice here that we've gone out quite a distance, almost in a straight line.
Please be aware that
Normally you'd expect to make a fairly sharp right turn quite shortly after the takeoff. As we pass over the M6 motorway at Castle Bromwich, for some reason we seem to carry on further north. You can see in the distance there Kingsbury Lakes. Yeah, moving in a slightly different pattern to normal. We'll have more of that in a moment. approaching the cruise. We're about to disappear into the cloud, where we'll make a left turn and we'll head down over the edge of Wales, down across the south coast, out over the English Channel, over Brittany, over the Bay of Biscay, crossing down through Portugal, leaving the coast in the region of Lisbon, and from there an oversea journey down towards Lanzarote.
But yeah, Viking's nice. He's next to Murphy's upstairs, the guy at Murphy's. I love this thing too.
And from this point, things started to take a slightly interesting turn. You may be able to see, but it's not particularly clear on the camera. But at this point, we are now somewhere just over to the north of Lanzarote, and we start making a series of turns. And I'm going to speed it up a little bit here. Those series of turns took us round and round and round in circles. I think probably for 40 minutes or so. We were circling just north of Lanzarote. The captain came up on the PA and advised us that due to some air traffic control restrictions, the runway at Lanzarote is usually used in the northbound direction, but it changed to southbound, and we were with other aircraft in a holding pattern above Lanzarote waiting for the opportunity to go and land. Which is fair enough, no problems there. We're not going anywhere, let's face it, we're in that aeroplane until somebody puts it down on the ground again. However, a little while later the captain came up again and announced that we'd been going round and round in circles for quite a long time, and he was beginning to get a little concerned about the level of fuel on board. So we took a southerly direction and headed down alongside Fuerteventura. So we're looking at the wrong island. We were usually going to Lanzarote. We're now probably nearly an hour behind time, and we're on our way to the neighbouring island, Fuerteventura. The reason being, we needed to get fuel. So there we went. And then we took off again after a wait of around an hour and a half. watching people swarming around the aeroplane, watching people for some reason standing in the aisles, although now, to be fair, they were waiting for the toilet. There was a continuous queue for an hour and a half of people waiting to use the forward toilet. We were sitting in row 2, so I couldn't see exactly how long that was going on for. So off we went eventually, taking off from the sunny Isle of Fuerteventura for the 20-minute or so journey across to the island we were supposed to be going to, which is Lanzarote, of course. Taxiing on Lanzarote Airport is done by guide cars. So the car arrives at the holding point as the aircraft leaves the runway and onto the apron. It guides it to the stand. And at this point I was probably hoping that we were going to go onto a bus stand, which would mean we would arrive right in the middle of immigration rather than having to go along a whole series of long corridors. We were concerned about the EES system, the entry-exit system that's been going on during the last few months in Schengen countries. It's caused many delays, and a lot of it is of course down to the number of flights that arrive at the same time. We were lucky because we'd had to divert to Fuerteventura. We landed not too close to any other flights coming in from other parts of Europe. But as you can see from the wall on the sign on the building there, we have arrived at the airport we were intended to, so happy days. We've already reached the point where people have got seatbelts off, although at this point nobody is yet standing. I always love the old story that the pilot of British Airways at Birmingham Airport once said, "Will the passengers please sit down so the pilot can see to reverse," which created a little chuckle at that point. But it still never worked. But here we are going onto an air bridge, so I was a little concerned about long walks up and down corridors. However, we did arrive. The ES system did not cause us any problems at all. It took us maybe 5 minutes to get through immigration, into the baggage hall, very sensibly, only one flight per belt. We managed to pick up our baggage, and we were leaving the airport within, I would suggest, about half an hour maximum of the aircraft door opening, which was a bonus. We've always, since we've been going to Lanzarote, we've always decided that it's probably a good idea to give up the idea of the transport by coach because we've got to wait for everybody to come in with their bags and so on. So we jumped straight in a taxi, which took us all of 2 minutes wait, and we made our way off through the island of Lanzarote, past
Less than half an hour out.
Puerto del Carmen and on to Playa Blanca, through some of the most spectacular scenery. Really beautiful scenery out there.
So how was your journey?
Good.
Apart from the fact we've been to a different canary on the way here.
Took 6.5 hours.
I'll tell you more later.
I always find it somewhat fascinating that you can still find an Aldi in the middle of Spain, and that looks to be quite a substantial one. I also love the fact that they have the foresight to cover the car parking spaces with awnings so that the cars don't overheat. Those mountains, absolutely spectacular, and from Playa Blanca they're visible practically everywhere. It's a really stunning piece of countryside. Barren, but absolutely beautiful.
Didn't want to open my mouth and breathe it in.
And there in the distance you can see the somewhat imposing roof of the Hotel Barcelo Playa Blanca where we were staying. The tallest block here in front of us is up to 7 floors. Most of the rest of it is 3 to 4 floors high. It's a huge complex, really large. 723 rooms I believe. 120 of those are royal level for adults only, and this is the view you get as you arrive outside. And first impressions, I have to say, very favourable. I'm not going to bore you any further with the journey or with checking into the hotel. All I will do is close by showing you the view that we were met with as we entered our room. There'll be other videos in the series. I hope you enjoy them. Do give us a like and a follow. That does help the channel on no end, and as you know, it's quite a small channel. Thanks very much for watching. Enjoy the remainder.